wanted to understand the relation between geography and ransomware infection, and probably at some point potentially predict who could be more likely to get infected by a ransomware attack at a later stage. So, some will say, like, you researchers are quite complicated in how you understand things, and it's probably a habit to us. We try to understand the context, the history of it, and how things evolve over time. And the first question I had, is ransomware really new? So, did we ever had in history ransom kind of activity? And apparently, if we go back in time, so I did a little bit of research, but I went back to year 1532, or in the 1500s, and apparently the first ransom case, now again, these are based on the most significant threats. Maybe there's before that, I don't know. We'll need to read and dig more on such situations, but basically the first case ever recorded on a ransom case, on a ransom activity, is in the 1500s. And it's basically there was a Spanish general who came in to the Incas. They had this idea that the Incas in Peru, what's known today as Peru, are very rich. They have a lot of precious metals, a lot of gold and silver and stuff, so they wanted to go there and see what is this area. So they found that there are people, of course. There's the Incas, and they thought, like, we need to grab their stuff. So what they did, the Spanish general actually captured the Inca emperor, and then he asked for ransom for his people to pay the ransom. And they asked for like 3 rooms filled with gold and silver. So that was the biggest, first ever ransom case. Now, if we fast forward a little bit, the next big case was, actually it was in the US, and the first ever recorded kidnapping for ransom. Fast forward to the 1989, it was the first ever recorded cybersecurity case, a virus actually targeting using floppy disk, if anybody remembers this. Floppy disks were used to send or to deliver ransomware to a target organization, and they asked for ransom as well. But the ransom here was to be paid through a PO box office, like a mailing facility that the victim would send the payment to that PO box and pay it anonymously in that way. Fast forward to the 2000s, and here we started to see a gradual increase in lockers. And lockers are a type of ransomware. It was the early beginning. Probably you still remember this, but it basically locks the screen of the computer, or even in modern days, locks the screen of the mobile phone on Android. And what it does, it asks you for putting in the credit card information so they can charge you and then unlock the screen. Now, over time, cybersecurity field and pretty much everybody caught up with this and understand how it works. We compiled it, deconstructed, we gave access back to the victim. With the rise of cryptocurrencies in the 2010, year 2010, from there onward, we started seeing a spike in targeted ransomware. Now, the reason is, there's always several parts of any infection. You need to find the valuable, you need to target the victim, and then find out after you pressure him to pay the point, to pay the ransom, you need a way to get the money, right? Otherwise, there is no point of infecting the victim in the first place. So the way a cryptocurrency gave a way, an anonymous method for the ransomware groups to get the payments. So that's why in 2010 we started gradually even seeing not only, as we used to see, infecting a wide area of victims, but starting to get into more targeted ransomware attacks from there onward. Across all of these, what is common is that the attacker tried to find the valuable assets, tried to pressure the victim, and then try to get the money in a way or another. Now, beyond 2024, we did had some time ago about some predictions based on what we are seeing in the market and what is the evolution of technology going. And we thought, like, based on a space cybersecurity assessment, so the things that are happening in space with satellites and all these spaceships and space tourism and so forth, we expected that this market, if it's materializing, if it's dragging more money, at some point it will attract cyber criminals, and is likely we see additional impact from a cybercrime perspective, and having ransomware on spaceships probably at some point. But really, the sky is the limit. As long as you understand how things work in terms of ransomware and how they get infecting the people, how they get targeting the organization, what is the objective, how they